All right, what is up? What is up? All right, we got another trade here. Let's go over it. Hey everyone on YouTube, in the YouTube land watching, we have another trade in the NBA, and we're gonna go and discuss it as usual. We got Domantas Sabonis going to the Sacramento Kings in a wild trade. So let's talk about it before we get started. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment, tell me what you think about this Kings Pacers trade. And we got a lot of deadline moves coming up here, so we'll be making videos as usual. So let's jump in here. Okay, so yeah, the Pacers are sending Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb. It was just tweet, probably was just typing it up really fast, but Domantas Sabonis, Jeremy Lamb, and Justin Holiday to the Sacramento Kings for Tyrese Hailburton, Buddy Hield, and Tristan Thompson. So we'll look in cap sheets here soon. Initial reaction to the trade is just crazy. I don't know why the Kings are getting rid of Hailburton. I really liked Hailburton coming out of last year's draft, and he was passed up, I think, by the Knicks and passed up by team after team. I want to say San Antonio passed him up too, and I just didn't understand the whole why that happened. So anyway, he's now going to Indiana, and so now Indiana kind of has their young backcourt of the future with Hailburton and Chris Duarte. They also have Isaiah Jackson, who they want to play more, and they're excited over there. And they get another. This does not land them a pick, but it does land them a young, promising player for the future in Hailburton. And I just think when we've seen Hailburton at his best, he is very, very good, and maybe borderline all-star. I think in the East you can maybe get an all-star out of him. In a couple of years, I think that's going to kind of what his ceiling is. I really like Hailburton. I don't know why it's Sacramento, right? Anywho, let's break down cap sheet, because that's what we love. All right, so here is the Kings' now current cap sheet with the updated trade. So as you can see, they have Sabonis, they have Justin Holiday, and they have Jeremy Lamb and Justin Holiday. So this is the Kings' payroll moving forward. So they're paying De'Aaron Fox a lot of money. And there were so many rumors, and I kind of agree with the idea of trading Fox in my season preview video. I also talked about how the Kings could move on from Fox, and just his play this season hasn't been great. And there's still some optimism there in Sacramento, I guess, that they can make the playoffs. I just don't know if Sabonis is the guy to go and get you there, especially when you're sacrificing both Hailburton and Hield. It's weird to me. The Kings, I think maybe the management, we had heard rumors about how they were thinking that they were kind of self-evaluating their team and said that they were a contender this year. Which I don't know who in their front office would believe that, but they believed that they were a contender, and that they believed that they were kind of one good player away from taking them over the top. I don't know what's going on in Sacramento, but Fox, Barnes, Sabonis, they still have not yet moved off of Marvin Bagley. They still have Richaun Holmes, which is interesting. You wonder if they maybe sell off Holmes and Bagley to maybe get something in the future, but you just don't know. Really interesting. I'm surprised by the move by Sacramento. I really like Sabonis. I think Sabonis is actually a really good player. But how much better does he make the Kings? Playoff better? I don't know. I think the Lakers are going to make the playoffs. I mean, standings today are, Lakers should be in. I don't think the Lakers are at risk of missing the playoffs. Minnesota's going to be there. I just don't exactly know. So it's just two really interesting moves by two teams that believe they can get in the play-in / playoffs with the Kings and the Pelicans, who we'll talk about later. But yeah, this Kings deal, it's crazy. I think it's okay. Sabonis isn't getting crazy Like his contract isn't crazy amounts, but it's just an interesting move because I don't know what the direction of the team is. I think they think that they're closer to something that a lot of people don't think that they're close to. So cap sheet looks pretty good. I mean, their 3 best players are the 3 best players on their team, or I should say their 3 best players are being paid the top 3 salaries on the team. They still have a little bit of money to work with, and young players like Davion Mitchell. Obviously, Terrence Davis got injured this year. But actually, no other young players like really make me happy on this list. Kind of weird. Not gonna lie. And I know Sabonis is an all-star. At least he was last year. I just don't think he's the guy that you can that takes you over the top. So crazy. Anyway, let's really quickly talk about Indiana, because I also want to throw in a Pelicans video as well. Indiana, and this is their cap sheet now. Buddy Hield is now their highest paid player. Hield is an interesting contract just because his contract is front loaded, so he's making more money early on than he's making less for the next 3 years, as you can see on the cap sheet. 23, 21, 19 for the next 3 years. They still have Brogdon on the roster. Brogdon is currently dealing with an Achilles injury, so that's a little concerning. And yeah, just kind of wondering if he's even going to come back at all. I wonder if him and Turner, if they were healthy, if they would be more assets on the trade market. But I don't know if Indiana's going to move off anybody else. Obviously, they just traded Caris LeVert. They're now trading away Sabonis, who I thought was the least likely guy to be traded. But, Miles Turner's still there. The contracts of Rubio and of TJ Warren, come off the books this year, along with Tristan Thompson. So take a look at their projected cap space here. They have $20 million to be able to spend. And they have 3 players that they could move again. Like, it would not surprise me at all if they try to move Hield and if they try to move Brogdon and Miles Turner. Can you get first-round picks for all of those guys? I think you can for Brogdon, and I think you can for Miles Turner. Maybe not so much Hield, but maybe you sucker a team into trading for Hield and getting another first-rounder. So are there 3 first-rounders that they can get in the future with these 3 players? Maybe. But I love it for Indiana. I mean, they're clearing out their cap space. They have these young players. Hailburton and Duarte will be their backcourt of the future. I already mentioned they have Isaiah Jackson. I know that they've been playing Dwayne Washington Jr. a lot more. And yeah, that's kind of like their young core. So if they can add somebody in the future, that would be great. But they're rebuilding and they're retooling. Like, this is an ultimate rebuild in Indiana. Indiana also... And we'll go to Sacramento again here in a second. But Indiana has that Cleveland first pick this year. So they're going to get 2 first rounders. And then they own their picks for the next few years. They're smart. They don't get rid of their first round picks for anything dumb. In this case, they don't receive anything from the Kings as far as picks go. But they do, stay the course and keep their picks. Should say, moving into the future. So pretty sweet. I think Indiana is doing a great job here. This move reminds me a little bit of the move that was made last year for Vucevic, where Vucevic was traded from Orlando to Chicago, and Chicago gave up contracts that kind of filled in for the team to make the salaries work out, and then they also gave away Wendell Carter and a future first. So in this case, they don't get Wendell Carter, they don't get like a young prospect and a first, but the Pacers get, Tyrese Hailburton, who I think might be better than Wendell Carter in a top 10 pick, who ended up being Franz Wagner, and, we'll just see there. But I think out of the youngest prospects that were on the trade market, Hailburton was the best, and Indiana now has them. For a guy who's kind of a lower tier all-star player in the NBA, and yeah, just interesting. So crazy. I'll take the Pacers here. I usually just try to do grades here. I know it's hard. There's no future picks here other than, I guess, Sacramento is also getting a 2027 second rounder. So that doesn't really mean anything. But grades here initially, I think it's an A+ by Indiana. I think it's really good by Indiana to be able to get off of. Again, I don't hate Sabonis. I think he's really good, but they get something for him. They get really high value for him, and it's crazy to see that they were able to get Tyrese Hailburton out of it. That's just wild. I would have never thought Hailburton would go away from Sacramento, but he does. So give me an A+ for the Pacers. For the Kings, give me a B-. I mean, is Sabonis himself and Holiday and Jeremy Lamb, are those 3 players better than having Buddy Hield and Tyrese Hailburton on your team? Because Thompson wasn't playing, and Thompson's just a salary thing, and he'll likely get cut and probably go to, guess who? Probably the Lakers. But yeah, I just don't see. I don't see the exact. I can't sit here and say that the Kings run away with the trade. Now, do they get the best player in the trade right now? Yes, they get Sabonis, All-Star, better than Hailburton is right now, more impactful than Hailburton is right now. But for the future, Sacramento, I can see this in 2 years, and we're gonna look back and be like, why do the Kings still have Fox and Sabonis while Hailburton's going off for Indiana? I don't know. It's crazy. But yeah, give me like a B- for Indiana, or sorry, for Sacramento. Sacramento I don't know. I would want a better All-Star if I were to give up Hailburton. And I would, if I'm the general manager of the team, I would say I don't even want Hailburton gone anyway. He's untouchable. But they're like, hey, let's throw him out there. Like a few months, like was it a couple months ago or a few weeks now that we've heard of Hailburton in trade talks? I never understood it. Why? Why would you ever want to get rid of Hailburton? Just, I don't know. He's efficient. He's a good defender. He's solid, like all around. And at the very least, he's like a DeJounte Murray-esque like tier player. Not comparing their games, but just comparing like where they land. I don't know. I would rather have Hailburton than Sabonis. So anyway, that concludes today's video. Thanks for watching. We're going to do another quick video here of the CJ McCollum trade, which was first, and discuss that. So we will we'll see you pretty soon.